Hey everybody. Hey, it's RV Lady here. And we're about 5 minutes to the start of the hangout. And of course, that's when I decide, hey, I've got something to do. And I do. It is looking at the state of Oregon. Okay. Oh, maybe change. There. There I am. Okay. Okay, nobody's there, but I'm here. And basically what I was looking at was places in Oregon. I'm trying to decide, basically over the hill that way is, or on the mountain is a fire that if the wind changes is going to compromise where I am now. I figured that I would be prepared to head north and get out of the fire zone. So it's finally come here. Let's see what else. Nothing. I've been watching. I have to say, okay. Yesterday, I was in the RV working. Okay, but what I had done before I came into the RV was that I turned my water on to fill my fresh water tank, and then forgot all about it. So some woman comes up, hello, and as she's doing that, I'm going, oh my God, I've left that water on. That's why she's coming. Hello, Monica. And basically, I jumped up and to the door, and I fell out the door and fell like on my butt, thank God. But kind of on my left side, which is good because this is the shoulder I broke and the arm that I broke. So I kind of fell onto my left side, and I scraped up my leg a bit. No big deal. But I broke my big toe on my right foot, and it's down at the base of the toe. If you want to come Whidbey Island, okay. It's good to know. I figured just to go north, and but basically, so I'm sitting here with a broken right toe, which makes it really difficult to walk the dog. But that's not my point. My point is I taped it up with duct tape. Okay. This is just another reason why. How are you? Was super excited to be here. Okay. What? Are you okay? I'm okay. Oh, my fall. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty tough. And I learned how to fall as a kid, basically. So I still know how to crumple to the ground. And probably all those years of being, thrown off horses. But no, I'm fine. Except my toe. My toe is just, broken way down at the base. So it's kind of underneath the ball of my foot. And I didn't know how broken it was until I really started looking at it this morning. It's all black and blue, and it's really ugly. I thought it was pretty funny. But I've broken my toes before, so I'm not phased. And now that I've wrapped it in duct tape, then, oh my God, hero rescue of the dolphin, then broke a toe. Yes, all in the same day. Okay, thanks for sending me healing. Yeah, it was all in the same day, and it was pretty funny. I mean, the woman was just mortified. She was just like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And yeah, I've got enough fat around my hips to, keep me from doing any real bone structural damage there. And my arms and legs are always, it seems to me, like, bleeding. For one reason or another. Or I was bleeding, playing with a dog, and stuff like that. Um, Hello, Rudy. And are you going to show us your sore toe? No, that would be completely undignified. And, mildly embarrassing. Let's see. How could I get my foot up high enough to show you my toe? It's just wrapped in duct tape. And this is why. Okay, I'm going to try because there's nobody else here, so why not? Okay. Is it? I'm trying to figure out where the camera is in relation to where my foot is. Okay. Now, oh, there's the camera. Okay. Hang with me. Okay. There's my toe. As you can see, it's actually broken down here. Okay, you can't see that because you don't need to see the camera. But it's broken. Yeah, I know. That was completely undignified, but hey, I did it anyway, so c'est la vie. But you really have to have duct tape with you, because I basically tight wrapped it in duct tape so that I could walk the dog. And now it feels so much better. I got so little sleep last night because I kept hitting my toe. This is duct tape. Yeah, I know. But you should always have a lot of it. I have probably 3 rolls of duct tape in various places. There's one in the Suzuki, there's one in the storage area in the back of the RV, and then there's one in the, in here. And ow, 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 it did hurt. Hello, Wild Horse 4S Traveler. How are you? If anybody wants to come in, I put that link on the YouTube side. And I think all you have to do is click on that. It will take you to Google Plus, and you can get in if anybody wants to come in. Totally up to you. I can sit here and do this forever. I have a question before I get locked out or kicked off. What was the name of the guy's channel who RVs in Mexico? I'm super interested in, caravanning down. If you Google or whatever search engine, I always use Google because I always end up on Google. This is kind of cattywampus now. If you search and say, your search would be something like caravanning to Mexico, and it'll bring up those parties. But I want to say, hi, Pamela. I want to say that it costs $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000, and I do not believe that includes the cost of the camps that you'll stay in, that they book reservations in. It doesn't include. It may include like one group meal per couple days of staying at a camp place. Stuff like that, but it doesn't cover any excursions. It's just a wagon train leader, and that's what you're paying for, is that wagon train leader to wagon train y'all down there. Caravanning, you know what I mean. Yeah, I do. Was it JC Travels? Now, JC Travels does live in Mexico. He lives more in, I think, like maybe within 100 miles of the border in mainland, but I don't know exactly where. But yeah, it was JC Travels. But the other one that you might want to look at is Mexico Mike. And I want to say he's on YouTube. And if not, just Google Mexican Mike. And he has been down there for years and years and years and years and years. And is really a great source of information. That's where I get a lot of my information. Plus, there are expat sites that you can look at as well, and they talk about having a job in Mexico, what you need, keeping your car in Mexico, having your RV in Mexico, blah, 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 being in Mexico. Okay, let's see. Caravanning is like the old wagon trains. That's exactly right. Hi, Pamela. I see you said hi. Let's see. I have a. You have bugs in your where? In your fridge. I've never heard of such a thing. How would you get bugs in your refrigerator? The only way you could get bugs in your refrigerator is if the food that you're buying at the market had bugs in it. Because, you know, your refrigerator is, um, you know, airtight or, yeah, airtight. And that's why all those little kids, that's why they say if you're going to store um, if you're going to store a refrigerator, you take the door off because people can kids get locked in those things and die because they suffocate. But I can't imagine how you could get bugs in your refrigerator. I really don't. Now, I understand how you can get them in your pantry, and that again is bugs that are coming from. And that's actually a pretty big problem in Southern California. They get some kind of, it's a little fly and it's in the flour and stuff like that. So, you know, in meals, whatever. And they're probably mealyworms or some disgusting thing. But basically, when you buy any kind of product like that in Southern California, RV, hello, you freeze those things so that those bugs die. And then you get to eat those bugs. Fabulous. But I can't get in again. Nana's joy. Okay. Go over to Google Plus and see if you can, and then type in RV Lady and see if there is a place to get in there. If on my YouTube page, I posted a link, and I was under the impression, by what I'm understanding about YouTube, is that link takes you to the place where you have to say, you know, yes, I understand something, whatever it is that they, you know, that you will play by the rules and stuff like that. Let's see, Broadway. No, I haven't sent you. Oh, Casita. Parked in the driveway, and the bugs got inside through the vented area. Oh, so your refrigerator was not on. But still, I don't think they can crawl in. I don't know. I'm not a refrigerator expert, but when my RV was parked in the driveway for over a year, I kept the door ajar, and I didn't get any bugs or anything. But yeah, bleach and water. That's, you know, or Windex, ammonia and water. Windex will clean it and not kill you. And same with bleach. You know, it won't affect any foods that you put in there. Note to self: duct tape and ropes left out. Yeah, it was like yesterday when I was dealing with the dolphin thing. The guy that went out with me, Bob, not his real name. I can't. Yeah, not his real name. I can't remember which name I used, but he just thought it was so funny that I brought rope, and I was like, you know, somehow we got to pick this up, and we're both older, so why make it more difficult? Trying to hold on to, you know, bending over, bending at the knee, and then trying to lift this dolphin off the bottom. That was not fun. I mean, that wouldn't have been fun. So yeah, basically I made a little carrying thing. It was, you know, quite fabulous. So you should also have some kind of rope with you. And I really recommend that climbing rope. I want to say that I bought it on Amazon, and it holds some ridiculous amount of weight, like 5,000 pounds. And, you know, fun stuff. Okay, so I'm here all by myself. Thanks, you guys. And I got 30 viewers. I'm glad for that. The RV took you long enough. I got. See, I'm reading the comments too, and then going back and forth since, you know, nobody else is here. And rope, I got through her YouTube page. Oh, well, Kelly, where are you? If you've gone on through the YouTube page. I sent out invites. So I don't know if the invite thing doesn't work, or you have to send it out 24 hours in advance, or if anybody gets one of these invites, if you could let me know. that you got one, that would be great, because I want to say I sent them out 15 minutes before the hangout began. And so, figuring it would, be in your mailbox at 4 o'clock. And then you just, touch on that and come on in. But no, let's not make it simple and understandable. Let's make it more complicated. Oh, well. So Yarv is on. I don't think he's ever come to one of my chats that he wasn't standing behind me. It's nice to have you here. I hope you're enjoying the weather. I hope you're enjoying your job. And Yarv, for those of you who do not know, I met up with him up here in Sacramento, and I ended up camped next to him for like 6, 7 weeks. We did 10 days at Folsom State Park, and then, okay, I can't remember what happened then. I left. See, this is why you keep a diary, because, the brain goes. But anyway, I left, and then he stayed another few days. But anyway, long story short, we ended up at this place called Bamboo Tree, and because I had this job that I had to, do, and I needed a continuous ability to be online without getting dropped. Let's see, I forgot my Google Plus password. Fudge. I forget my passwords all the time. I have a book that has all of my passwords in it, and because I don't remember what they are, you might want to keep the book. It makes it easier. And then as you add, other sites that require passwords, you just jot them down. Yeah, I can't remember anything. Okay, so anyway, Yarv and I lived next door to each other, though we very rarely saw each other because he was looking for work, I was doing work. And it was 3 degrees all the time. So it was just an air conditioning fun fest. But he got a position, a job. He does something, computer-esque. And he got a job in Phoenix, Arizona. So he left the 105-degree temperatures of Sacramento, California, for the probably 106 or 7 degrees of Phoenix, Arizona. So it'll cool off and it'll be nice. You'll like it. It's very, very nice. And blue-eyed, thin white. Blue-eyed, no, blue-eyed, thin white. Yarv is so sexy. That's what she wrote in there. If you didn't see it, you probably saw it. He's really funny, and what a nice guy. Just a nice guy. And I don't know that even comes through in his videos, how nice a guy. But I'll, see him again. I figured that when I'm on my way to Mexico, I'm going to go to the Texas, Brownsville area to cross the border there, and then go down the eastern coast of Mexico to the Yucatan. But I have to drive right by Phoenix, so of course I'm going to go and say hi. Speaking of the Phoenix area, we all talked about a couple weeks ago about having a like a get-together RV escapade in Arizona. And and Adele was the one who had suggested a specific area. And for the life of me, I can't remember what it is right now. But I'm trying to figure out if anybody's interested in doing that. It would be sometime in January, like, mid-January, like the 10th or before the 15th. And, just to hang out for a couple or 3 days. And, see how it goes. Have fun. Cook. And okay, I'm not really a drinker, so I was going to say drink, but you guys can drink. I can watch you drink. But it just makes me so ill. I've said this for years. I can drink Drano or I can have a glass of wine, and the effect is pretty much the same thing. If you got to find, yeah, that's true. You can change your password on any of these things. They send it to your email, and then there's a link there, and then you can go back and get it. But yeah, I forget what my passwords are all the time. And let's see, Janice Adams is there. Nobody wants to come in, or is it impossible to get in? It doesn't make any difference to me. I mean, I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about, and it's kind of more towards, I'm always thinking futuristically. I'm always thinking, what am I going to be doing next year? What am I going to do in 2 years? That sort of thing. And okay, Joanne, got it. You'd be interested. I hope I can read all these things later. I don't know. Can't remember which email address I used. Gotta do that too. I have so many email addresses, and they all, I forget which one I've signed what up to. But what I've been thinking about are these traveling bands of RVers. And there are specific groups that, like singles, and that I'm sure they have a married one where, you have to be married in order to go, or you have to be single in order to go. Or I shouldn't say single, I should say just not married, because that is exactly the criteria that the one site that I went to. So, I mean, I've gone to them before, and I know that there are, I think it's like womenrvers.com or something like that. Now, what I find fascinating, I know, okay, does not have a camera or a mic. Oh, okay. That's KG. I was just reading. I cannot come in because my computer doesn't have a camera or a mic. And here I have extra cameras and extra mics, and I can send them to you because I'm not going to use them. Okay, there is a website, a network, and it's called WIN, W-I-N, Wandering Individuals Network. And when you type that in, it comes up rvsingles.org, which I found fascinating. Now, for those who like to, travel, they go, apparently, I'm not sure of this, but they go to Mexico and Canada, and plus throughout the United States. But they go in a caravan, and they have probably some activities. Or if you wanted to go someplace and you didn't want to go by yourself, you'd probably say, hey, let's go. And somebody would be willing to go with you. Loners on Wheels. I see that RV does. RV does. Just on the fly, RVing women, etc., etc. That's what I'm saying, is I know that there are a lot of them. Now, here's the caveat, and this is what I want to know. I have, as I said, went to this Wandering Individuals Network, and it comes up rvsingles.org. Their membership fee is $84 a month. I mean, yeah, $84. They're not really doing anything other than, I don't know, making people available to you. I don't know if $84 is a lot. Is it? I don't know. I don't know that I would be willing to spend $84 to follow people into campgrounds, from campground to campground or whatever. It doesn't seem that they do any boondocking. It just seems like they do RV park living. But it's, I guess, safety in numbers, and or that's their concept. Hi, Jay Drifter. I didn't see you till now. Hey, Janice. I didn't see you till now either. I'm looking over. Hey, Paul. POV. Paul's point of view. How are you? But I was wondering if anybody out there who's RVing, I mean, besides the Sam's Clubs and the, okay, whatever they're called, um, if anybody has considered going that route or belongs to any of these groups. I'd be interested to hear about, hello, Speeding Turtle. I'd be interested to hear about what anybody has to say about that. But, um, you know, okay, fine. I'm just messing with you. Can we get a woman's perspective on all the e-begging going on? Man, that's a tough one. Now, I have on my channel um, a contribute thing, whatever they call that. It's e-begging. Um, but mine is, oh, and I got a story with that too. Mine is associated with helping RVers who are just really having a bad day, okay? And they just need some financial aid, a couple bucks, not, I'm not talking about buying them new tires or whatever. I'm just talking about, helping them to make their day not horrible, any more horrible than it is. So anyway, I was going into a auto parts store here in town, and I had the dog out so she'd go potty, and I was putting her back in the Suzuki, and some guy walked up to me. He was nicely dressed. He introduced himself. He said his name was Brandon, and he wondered if I had, if I could, and he said, he was camping, and he was clean and whatever. And he says, I'm just really kind of down on my luck, key phrase. And, can you see yourself to, giving me money? Okay, I don't exactly know how he said it, but he said it nicely. And, and I said, yeah, I have a fund for that. So anyway, I had a bunch of 20s on me, and I wasn't going to give him $20 because I didn't see his campsite and I didn't see his RV. But I gave him, I had like $6 in the ashtray of the Suzuki. And so I gave him $6. So somebody, Blacktop Boondogger, contributed $5 to the fund. And so, it's been paid out, and his name is Brandon, or is Brandon. And he just seemed like life had been just a pain in the ass for a couple of days and just needed some help. So let's see, where is your link? I do not know what you did that. Are we? It's somewhere on my page. But as far as, now see, that money isn't for me. And I've made probably, I'm guessing something $200, whatever, off this, what's it called, YouTube website. And people clicking on whatever, or however that works. I don't even know. But, that goes into the fund too. So it's not like it's my money, because it's this advertising money that is, Aaron is out. Okay, Ruby is like wanting on a chair next to me. Okay, let me move stuff. Okay, I had a bunch of maps out and stuff, trying to figure out. There's a fire that's over the hill here, not too far. Okay, yeah, I'm moving. There's a fire that's over the hill in the mountains, and so when you change direction, it's not that far away. I would say it's probably 2 miles away, and you can smell it in the air. It's, wait, that's not. But let's see. Let me look what Crystal Nutter B2. I don't think that they should be e-begging unless it is for a pay forward thing. Help animals and stranded RVers to get back home. See, I think helping animals is really important. You get just to help. Okay. I think there are people out there that are e-begging for themselves. I am still of the opinion that YouTube creators are providing entertainment, which is true, Yarvi, for you for free. They take their time and effort to create something that they hope you like. And that's really true too. And anybody who makes videos and does the upload and blah, blah, blah for, um, communicating with your group, it takes a lot of time. And I suppose that one can be a professional YouTuber and subsequently, you're it's like watching a movie or buying music from whoever people buy music from these days. I don't even know. But it is, it is in that genre of entertainment. And I've mentioned him before, suspicious observer. And RV Lady, Daydrifter, Janice and Debs want in. Okay, come on in. The way I look at this is if somebody wants to support a creator, then throw them some bones. I kind of look at that too. And there is a website that I look at every day, and it's called Suspicious Observer. And he talks about the sun and space and what's going on up there. And I really appreciate that. He had a membership drive, and it was like $20 a year or $20 for life or some ridiculous no money thing. And so, I got a membership because I like what he does. And I enjoy these reports that he does. And I'm not capable of getting that information anyplace else. And so, yeah, like sells a membership, and there's more to it than I want or understand. And a lot of the stuff that he says on his morning, he does a 6 o'clock Eastern time morning update on what's going on with the sun and the planets and whatnot. And a lot of the stuff I have no idea what he's talking about. But then there's stuff that I do understand, and those are the things I want to know. The stuff I do understand. No, I really don't. It's the RV. What is that? Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine, RV does. If anybody wants to come in, just let me know. Let's see, RV, but don't. Yeah, I think the whole e-begging thing, I think if people are e-begging and they've got a beer in their hand and they're, or you see them come back from the grocery with mostly liquor, or they open their refrigerator and it's filled with beer. Then I think you have to take a moment, take a pause, see what it is. But think about it, folks. If you really think about this, you probably spend $5 or $10 and you have no idea what you've bought. You cannot justify that $5 or $10. And there are I had a gal contact me regarding assistance, and she wanted me to buy her a new camera so that she could make money, so that she could buy an RV, so she could make money on YouTube, so she could buy an RV, and she could be an RVer. And basically I said no. And I said, no, you're missing what I'm doing. And so she was telling me that she was down on her luck and blah, 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 blah. And I said, I totally get that, but that's not what this does. This isn't so that you can, buy a camera. No, I'm not going to buy somebody a camera. And I'm not going to buy anybody like beer. But substance, food, yes. They require some kind of assistance from me, or they require, I don't know, change for a payphone. I don't know, and you have to understand where I am now. A lot of times there's no cell signal, and it's very hard to find a payphone. And but it could be things like that. It's basically the stranded RVer that I'm looking to aid, or stranded camper, or somebody's just having a really, really super bad day. You know, I might hand them $5 and say, you know, why don't you go buy yourself a cold one and sit down and reflect whether or not this is a good life for you. But I don't know. I think that um, oftentimes people need help and they just don't ask because they're embarrassed. And, you know, it was interesting that this Brandon guy asked me for money because usually when people ask me for money, I don't give them money. I will offer money, but and say, you know, here's $5 or whatever. And if they look like they need it, but no. But I think that there are e-beggars that are out there who are, I don't know, not really contributing to the community, or I don't know. You know, it's a case by case basis, quite honestly. And of course, you're not going to give money to people that you don't like, and so and you certainly don't want I'm reading your RV's thing now. One of the e-beggars haters did a video where he got all wrapped around the axle about worthy causes. Oh, see, and I think worthy causes is something that is determined by the individual. You know, whatever the situation is. You know, suppose you're at an RV park, and here's a really good example. I'm at this RV park, and it used to be really horrible, and then the city took it over and fixed it all up, and it's very nice now, but they do have the occasional theft in the park. And so a guy had bicycles that, and he was just a couple down from me, a couple RVs down from me, and he had a couple bicycles that were out in front of his RV, and he had just put like one chain thing around the whole gizmo and didn't really secure it as well as he could have. But, you know, trust your fellow camper and all will be good. Well, somebody came and stole his bikes and left the chain, but stole his bikes. And that was like his kid's bike and his wife's bike and his bike. And that was their transportation. They didn't have a toad. That was their, you know, hop around town transportation. So anyway, the police were called, and what was really nice is because this is such a small town, the police found the perpetrators right away. But, you know, it's that kind of situation. Now, this guy had a beautiful RV. You know, he may or may not have been able to afford to buy new bikes. I don't know. But, you know, by the time I heard about it, he had already gotten his bikes back. The police had brought his bikes back. So, you know, he was very happy. His family was very happy. And of course, all was right with the world. But would I have bought that little kid that he had? Like, I don't know, she was 8, 10, something like that. Would I have given them money to go buy a bike in town if they needed it? I betcha. They're on vacation. You're not supposed to rob people. You know, your stuff is your stuff. Their stuff is their stuff. But I think that no matter what you do, if you are enjoying somebody's content and you want to give them money for whatever reason. Chris Travels, sterling example. I don't think he has a donate button. He may now, I don't know. But he made a comment on one of his videos that somebody was trying to give them money or trying to contribute to whatever when they were on their way to Alaska. And he said, you know, no, you don't have to do that. That, you know, they don't accept donations. And, you know, to find some kind of fund to give it to, you know, something. And I think that's the way to go. If you don't feel the content of somebody's YouTube stuff is what you want, then don't contribute. But, you know, don't watch either, because you're continuing to contribute when you are, oh, what is that? You trying to understand something on my webpage. I don't get it. I don't know what that is. Okay. Anyway, I've got half of the video that I'm making that's delayed in front of me, and then on the right side I have the comments on the side, and every once in a while I just look over. Yeah, today's subjects are, it is supposed to be expanding our contacts. And that's why I brought up the thing about the rvsingles.org. And whether, I mean, do you guys think that $84 is something that um, you should pay for to belong to one of these things? Is that, because, I mean, there are a lot of these groups that go around. I've met, oh, Yarvy's saying he's met more blogging RVers. Now, see, where do you find the blogging RVers? And I'm assuming that I mean, this is basically a video blog of everybody's life, or vlog, as they call them. But, where do you find the people who are just writing about RVing? And then why would you want to read it when you can watch a video? And I know people don't read, and here I am, a writer, promoting the fact that people want to watch videos instead of reading. I think that if and I know Yarvi does meet a lot of people via the internet, whether it's vlogging or blogging, and I have no problem meeting people, as long as that's actually what I'm going to do. I mean, it was kind of freaky when that guy saw me at Bed Bath & Beyond in Eureka. That kind of freaked me out a little, but. I've been reading RV blogs for over 10 years. See, we should share all this stuff. What's interesting that's on a RV blog versus what's interesting that's on a RV video vlog, and groups. I mean, should we? I don't know. Does anybody find it beneficial to? Oh, Vic Smith joined. Then where are you? Joined the group. She must have come in and out. But is it worth money to join these things? Oh, hello, Vic. There you are.
Hello.
That's you and me. How did you get in? I can't decide if people just don't feel like coming on, or they want to come on and they don't know how, or
I'm just an idiot.
Why is me too? I know what makes me an idiot. So why are you an idiot?
I don't know. It had this join button, so I hit it.
Oh, nice job. Yeah, that's basically, it's supposed to be that easy. It asks you some kind of question, and then you go from there. And I never get
the join button.
Oh, I don't know why. Geez, I follow all the rules. I noticed that many of the people in the comment section are I don't know, Yarvi, have Yarvi's opinion on whatever Yarvi wants to think. And I wouldn't begrudge anybody their own opinion about anybody's video or anybody's vlog or anybody's blog or whatever. And, I think that it's really important that we all respect each other's positions and opinions on everything, and which makes us all nice, cooperative human beings, which I'm not always a cooperative human being, but that's why I travel alone. Now with a dog. That's why I travel with a dog. I've got to do everything I say. And she is wonderful. I am so happy. And Yarvi, you can pick on me about this because I said I'd never get a dog. And I've said this probably 10 times on different videos that I don't want a dog, I don't want the responsibility of the dog, I don't want to walk the dog, I don't want to pick up the dog's poo, I don't wanna. And here I am with a dog from the pound. And not only that, I've been quasi looking for a dog for a couple months, and she's a great dog. She's actually really wonderful. Um, okay, can't clam it. Hey Monica, I was at Camp Klamath, just FYI. I didn't find it to be as nice or as okay good as it probably could have been, but they may have just had an off week. That's what I'm kind of just saying they had an off week, and they did have a lot of people in and blah 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 blah. And you went away. Where did you go, Vic? Now I'm here by myself. Okay, I was just getting ready to turn it over to you so that you could yak away. Then one of the reasons that I wanted a mature dog was because I didn't want to train a dog. I was hoping that I was going to, pick up a dog that could sit and stay and understood English, that sort of thing. And at first, I didn't think this dog understood English, so I've been practicing my Spanish to go to Mexico. And so I used a few Spanish expressions. Hi, Janice. Thank God somebody else is here.
No,
Hi,
you're
Janice.
not. I made it.
Finally, how did you get in? Did you just get an invite?
Idea.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know. But I figured it's not worth worrying about. But and I don't think people can understand that I can actually have. But what's new with you?
Still trying to recuperate from our trip.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Today I kind of have taken the entire day off, with the exception of what I'm doing right now. And on AMC channel on TV, they're running all of the Walking Dead seasons building up to their new season. So, yes, I'm embarrassed to say I've been laying there watching The Walking Dead. And I was tired today. I think it had something to do with breaking my foot. That's what I'm blaming it on anyway.
And, you broke your foot?
Oh, yeah, I broke my foot. I was, I suppose some of you.
That's what you get for doing ballet dancing.
No, but it is from being stupid. I think that counts. I was doing chores around how you do that with, your house or your RV. And basically what happened was that I had turned the water hose on to fill the freshwater tank, and I forgot about it. And some woman comes up and says, hey, lots of water out here, dumb person. Don't you know there's a drought? No, she was really nice, actually. And I got up and bolted towards the door, and I fell out the door. And
oh, no.
I fell, and I fell good, and scraped up my entire left leg on the outside, and then I broke my toe on my right foot. So I started out, I think, this chat by saying, if you don't have duct tape, get it, because it's really important. And basically, I duct taped my foot to give it more support, and it feels great. It feels so much better. I didn't sleep well last night because it was just that throbbing pain. But it's like the ball of my foot. It's just like where the toe meets the foot bone. That's where I've broken it, right there. So it's all black and blue underneath and whatever. But, I'm good. Earlier I struggled to get my toe up so that, people could see that I had my foot wrapped up in duct tape. I believe the dolphin, swam away. Not really sure, but what a fabulous experience it was just marvelous. And it was a California white-sided dolphin, and not too big. And you know how when you go to those animal aquarium type things, and the animals are all, their skin's all beat to hell, like they've been in major fights every day. This dolphin was just smooth and wonderful, and to aid. I just, for the life of me, did not figure out why everybody wasn't running out there to help this dolphin. And it was 4G Nomad, heading to Cali tomorrow, planning on a YouTube video later today with all that I have been going on the past week. Oh, cool. Yeah, if anything, you want to know about California, let me know. Right now it's hot and everything's on fire. But except where I am, it's like 65 degrees, maybe 70. The fog rolled in, but the sun's still out.
That's the way it was when we were out. Everything was on fire. I mean, Whistler had the Winter Olympics in 2010.
Yeah.
I don't know how they managed that because they don't have any mountains there. Well, at least I didn't see any.
Well, they may have traveled, 50 miles or under 100 miles.
They have them there. It was just so much smoke you couldn't see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you hear my protective dog barking? Hey, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. Good girl. Oh, what a smart dog. What a smart dog. Okay. There's some people that just pulled into a space right next to me in a Class C that looks crappier than mine. And they just got out and they're going to go look at the little family. Dog's barking, which is her job, basically. And yes, RV, I did see that. Yes, I have picked up poo. Lots of poo. Oh, and let me tell you this about those poo bags. Okay, everybody's aware that you buy poop bags for your dog, and you go out and you put your hand in it and you grab the poo, and then you tie a circle in it. I mean, tie a knot in it, and then you throw it away someplace else. Those poo bags are a perfect size and fit for my juicer. They're perfect. They go right in. It's fabulous. So anybody who's looking for, and they're not very expensive. So anybody who's looking for, an ideal bag for your juicer to collect the scraps, those things rock. And now they're scented, which is kind of creepy. But yeah, the fires. I don't even know where all the fires are. There are so many fires.
Well, basically, if it's out west, it's on fire.
Yeah, and I was saying there's a fire just over the mountain from where I am now, and so I was looking at a map as I was waiting for 4 o'clock, and thinking about, okay, if I have to evacuate, which way do I want to go? And of course I want to go north. I don't really want to go east. So I was looking at Oregon because I'm about 25 miles from the Oregon border. So I think they have stuff on fire too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Oregon did when we were there. Washington did, go figure. Alaska is burning down. Yukon has already burnt down.
Man, who said that? Give me a break. And Yarvi, I just saw your comment on $84 a year for RV singles group is too much money. I completely agree. I think that is just too much money. And and you got to consider who's in that group. First they want your money, and then they tell you who's in the group. So you might pay them $84, and then you find out that it's all people that you have absolutely nothing in common with. And that would be very, very disappointing. Alaska is worse on fire. I'm reading the comments as I go, Janice, just so you know.
I see them. I got the sidebar up.
Oh, okay, good. I just wanted to explain in case you didn't understand that, I'm jumping
Well,
in and out of subject.
the highway that goes from Alaska through the Yukon, they actually had to close it down because the fire came down the hill, jumped the road, and went the other side. Now it was open when we came through, but they still had firemen there, and they were mopping up the hot spots. And it went for, I don't know how many miles, maybe 5 miles. That's the part that was burnt there. My
Yeah,
understanding was that there were people that were on the highway when the fire came down the hill. The firemen came and just rescued them, and they had to leave their cars there. Well,
yeah,
needless to say, you know what happened?
yeah.
No
That-
cars.
Right. And it's worth leaving your vehicle behind
Oh, yeah.
because and letting the fire department evacuate you if that's your option. But I don't know that people should ever hesitate to leave their material things behind, um, and just save their own lives. Everything else can be replaced eventually. And let's see. Oh, no, wait a minute. The lithium grease that I put on the Suzuki, yes, yesterday before I broke my toe, and after I saved the dolphin. Jeez, what a day! I took it to the car wash and got all the lithium off. And then I've been talking to a few people as to locally where I can go to have the U joints inspected. And the problem that I'm having with it is when you go like this, up and down, it doesn't move. I can turn the drive shaft, which I didn't think I would be able to do, but okay, maybe that's normal. But I'm going to take it to somebody tomorrow and just say, can you take a look at it and tell me, what's up with this? Because I really don't want to be someplace where there is no mechanic and not be able to find parts or whatever that I need for that old Suzuki. It's an 87 Suzuki. It's not like I can go to auto stores and say, I need something for an 87 Suzuki. They're going to have to order it too. Okay, back to the fires. I think that right now where I am, there's a good western breeze, and so it's blowing all the smoke. But this morning, when I got up and we went for our walk, the smell was so reminiscent of the big fires that we had in San Diego County years ago, and really bad. Let's see, RV Lady, did you ever find out if Patch's front slope on the overhead is from water damage or is it how it was built? I don't know. No, I don't know. My feeling is that it's water damage. And the reason that I say that is because when I first got this RV, I went up in this area and was inspecting all of the front, top, whatever that round part is up there, that area up there. And I ended up pulling out very wet, soaking, sopping fragments that I'm sure it used to be like one piece of something, but they were all just down in the bottom, and I pulled them all out to the point of getting to the fiberglass shell of the RV itself. So I, rebuilt it from the inside of the RV, put in new 1x2s and 2x4s, and did I use 2x4s? I think I did use 2x4s and 1x2s, and built a new structure, and then covered that, filled it in with insulation, and then covered that. And I haven't had any water issues up there since. But now, what is that about? I don't know. You know what I know? I know that I had appointments for 3 different people to come and look at this RV, yesterday, 2, and 1 for today. And I confirmed with them even, and they're not here. So I don't know if they're just changing their mind and they're looking at the pictures and they're saying, yeah, no. Or
Haven't you had this problem before? Where
you
you
mean
had people, before you left home, where we're supposed to have people come look at it and they never came.
Oh, that was to repair it. I've got it listed on Craigslist for sale. These people are supposed to be coming here because they expressed interest in wanting to buy her. And, and
Oh,
I've got pictures of, um, I've got pictures of really the true pictures of this RV on Craigslist so that everybody understands before they drive up here what the delamination and all the patchwork and all that stuff, the extent of that. Because I don't want them coming up here and saying, oh, gee, I drove 100 miles. Why didn't you tell me it looked like this? Duh. So I have no idea. Or people are just, weirdos up here. I don't know. But yeah, I did hire people or ask people to come to my home to do repairs on the RV, and they didn't show. And that was basically because I wasn't ready to really drive it any place to drop it off for 3 weeks. And what is that about? Every time I have had any type of desire to have my RV repaired, they want to keep like 3 weeks to a month. And I have heard that this is not odd. What is that about? I don't get that. But, I'm just going to hopefully, because there is, if you guys don't know this, there's a Class A that I want to buy that actually isn't for sale. But anyway, I told them that I needed to sell patches before I would entertain buying their vehicle. And so it's killing me. And I'm almost ready to say, the first $1,000, come get this RV and, whatever, so that I can go get the other one. And I may end up doing that. I'm not really sure, but I like that other RV. But I also think that Patches has a great deal of value um, and miles left in her. I've taken pretty good care of her. And I'd probably put maybe $4,000 or $5,000 into it. No, not maybe three to $4,000. Tires and batteries and blah 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 blah. To just get her so that she would roll down the road safely, as far as I'm concerned. Last thing I want to be is on some kind of mountain and the RV becomes out of control, and that would just be horrible. So and I want to spend some money on the new RV, just making sure that it is fit for the kind of travel that I intend to do. And the new RV is actually 2 feet shorter than, let's see, I think it's cosmetic. It is. All of the ugliness of Patches is all cosmetic. Doesn't leak, doesn't do anything wrong. It's just cosmetically, she is not an attractive thing. But I don't care. And the reason why I don't care is because I'm in the RV or I'm away from the RV in the Suzuki. Very rarely am I looking at the cosmetics of the RV. I fashioned it interior the way I liked it, and um, I don't care about the outside. I never have in vehicles that I've been driving. I've been fortunate that I've had nice vehicles, but if like on the Land Rover, if I scratched the outside, yeah, I didn't care. And I would have it detailed a couple times a year and just say, can you throw some red paint on that part right there? And the guy would like make the scratches go away. I don't know how. I didn't care. It was, that was just never an important issue for me. All of it, all of that illusion of beauty. And I think that you always have to look for the true beauty in everything, everyone, every object that you come across. You're looking for the true beauty, not Is it, because so why I don't even book girls over my house isn't and then okay. The RV's just having a good old chat in here. If anybody's watching that. Oh, Kipper, hello. How have you been? Where have you been? Let's see. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Kipper. Okay, so I'm kind of caught up now. But as far as people coming in, calling me up and taking my time and having me explain again and again and again, and then saying yes, I will be there between 10 and 2, and then not show is inconsiderate and irritating. A 2007 Jackie Roten. There we go. Just bought a Class C, a 2007 Class C. The Class A that I want to buy will be my starter Class A, and I'm glad it's 2 feet shorter. But it's really quite beautiful. I mean, it looks just like it's supposed to look. And again, I don't care. I care about things like the drivetrain, the engine, the muffler system, the tires, this and that. They just put new tires on it. And Janice, you are quiet. You have to talk now, Janice. Janice.
Oh, well, gee. You would have loved our trip, particularly when we were in Sitka, Alaska, and our credit card got denied.
I know, you said that last week.
That was just the worst thing I've ever seen.
I honestly don't think I will ever go up to Alaska. I just don't have any desire to do that. There's nothing up there that, I mean, no, I would never go up there. There's nothing drawing me to Alaska.
I liked it. I liked particularly Sitka. I was very enthused with, because while Russia owned all of Alaska, Sitka still has maintained some of the Russian architecture. People there still speak, some people, not all of them, but some people still speak Russian.
Yeah.
And they have a totem pole park there that is just so interesting, that they have collected all these totem poles, kind of repaired them because they're going, falling down. And it's so interesting to get the history of those totem poles and actually see them. And that was very interesting. I am told where we were, salmon were just starting to run.
Yeah.
And they said that bears will be coming there, and at that point, the park will close down.
Oh.
Yeah.
They were
for
talking
the safety
about
of other people.
I was in Klamath. They were talking about that next month. What month is this? This is August, September. That the salmon will start their run, and then they'll be really packed. That they are for the fall full, because the fishermen come for the salmon, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I wouldn't mind getting a salmon. In the town that I'm in, there is a dock boat place where commercial fishermen come in and they're bringing in tuna. But and tuna's okay, but would I rather have a salmon? Yeah, you betcha. And I'd like it cut up in nice little fillets and frozen.
There are apparently many different kinds of salmon.
Yeah.
And when we were on the Columbia River, the Chinook salmon were starting to run. And there were 2 Native American guys there, and they were fishing. And Bruce asked them, how many fish they could have. And they said, well, you can have 1 a day. we can have as many as we want and fish them any direction, anyhow we want, just so that we get them. Now, they had 2 salmon there, and they pulled them up to show them to us. We like to fell over 25-pound fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of salmon.
Yeah, I know. That's what I would like to have, that cut up into fillets, because I go to the market and I look at their salmon, and I probably eat salmon 4 times a week, and that's one of my staples basically. So would I like to have, like, 15 or 20 salmon fillets in my freezer? Yeah, I'd throw everything else out. I'd much rather have that. Um, yeah, I would much rather have that. But I noticed in a lot of the videos this year, besides Chris Travels, there have been a lot of people who have gone up to Alaska, and they seem to be having a great time, um, and enjoying themselves. I haven't heard any. Well, there's maybe 3, maybe 4 people that I watch kind of quasi regularly, and they all seem to have a draw to go to Alaska. Did you have that draw?
Yes, I have to say, well, my husband did. Normally I just go along for the ride. Um, and but we had already been to Alaska 40 years ago when
Oh,
you traveled, and it was a gravel road, maybe
right.
it was no road at all, and you had to sit there and wait for them to make it. This time the road's paved. Um, it's just a 2-lane road, but
Right.
it's a big improvement. um, but this time we did the Alaska Marine Ferry. So
Oh,
we did the islands, so to speak, until we got to Segway,
oh,
and
okay.
then from there you could go up into Alaska, connect to the Yukon, and come back down.
Yeah.
So we
I
only
don't
drove
know.
it one way.
Yeah, I don't know that I would. I think I would like to see Alaska by cruise boat, or ship, or whatever it's called, and then take the smaller boats into where the glacier areas are. I think that would be really fascinating. But as far as, I mean, and that would just be fascinating from the point of view of nature and how fabulous nature is. But as far as, you know, driving up there, I just don't have that. And it's got to be about the same to take a cruise versus driving whatever vehicle. It's got to be the same
Well,
price.
the cruise was $3,000 a piece, approximately. The
Okay, you're shopping high end cruise.
No, this was Carnival,
From
and
where though? From where though?
from oh, let me ask Bruce. Hang on a minute. Seattle. He said Seattle,
Okay, okay, I heard him.
and the ferry that we took, we got it in Prince Rupert, British Columbia,
Right.
and it was $1,000. I think $1,009 for the both of us, or $1,001 for the both of us, including our car, and the car costs more than us.
Yeah.
And the first jaunt of our trip, we actually got a room, um, more like a closet. You think your RV small?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this was even worse.
No, I've seen them before, and I just walk into those things and say, yeah, no.
This was called the slow ferry because they have to wait for the tide to come in to make it to the islands.
Hmm.
So, you just have to kind of
Yeah.
time it from the way the tides are. And it's kind of interesting to watch it, that, yeah, we got to go at this time or we won't
Right.
make it through at the right
Well,
time. And there were places we were only like 5 feet from touching land on either side of the ferry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like where I am now. The tide goes out really far and then comes way in. I've never seen a tide swing like this that I can remember offhand. But yeah, the tide swing is humongous. I mean, it's yards out. And I know that's how that dolphin kind of got trapped in the shallow. The water goes out so fast. And I think that's what happened was but it's really fascinating to think you have to do everything according to the tides. You know, you're living your life as a fisherman here according to the tides, which yeah, that's a complication. You know, it's not
Yeah.
like yeah, it's not convenient.
And then the fast ferry can run all the time because
Yeah.
it doesn't do so much of the tide, depending on the tides. But one thing I was kind of surprised about is when we got to Haynes, they were bringing the vehicles on trailers, or I should really say RVs,
Mm-hmm.
and they had them back down the plank to
Oh.
park it in the ferry. And I said, "Oh, great! That would be me at the top of the plank, crying my eyeballs out because I couldn't
No, then
drive
you'd
that
like
thing down."
you would do your Superman stance, and then you'd say "Be brave," and then you just do it. And
Knowing my luck, I would go on down, get down fine, and then go right across the ferry and out the other side into the water.
I've always wondered about those, you know, and you know, my assumption is somebody always drives them that does it for a living all the time. And you know, I've seen a couple of places where it's like you drive onto this flat ferry and you know go from island to island, and I don't think I would be good at that. I think I'd pretty much freak out. But
This is
let
a
me answer a couple of questions.
huge
Let me
ferry.
answer a
This
couple of
is
questions
huge.
over here. Somebody wants to know, and now it's gone up too far. Yeah, I'm over 55. RV Lady, are you in Oregon? No, I am in Northern California. Will I sell the RV for $1,000? No. Um, there was something else too that I saw that kind of went by. Now I can't remember what it was. Um, RV Lady, are you in Oregon? No. Okay, and something else. Oh well, it's gone. Okay. Well, we try to do these things. And I know that somebody was asking me a question about something, and yeah, that's gone now. So I don't know what somebody wanted to know, but it was specifically like, RV Lady, can you, do you, are you? And so, RV Lady, are you still planning Mexico this year? Yes. Not this year, January next year. And basically, I'm going to spend Christmas with my daughter and son-in-law, and then I am going to drive over to what will be the east coast of Mexico, mainland Mexico, not Baja. I'm not going to Baja. Mainland Mexico, and then Brownsville, Texas. I think I don't know that it's called Brownsville, Texas, but I'm going to go down the coast from there. And down the coast. Now, these people who are camped next to me here at this RV park have said that they were considering doing that, but they didn't get any further than the border towns. And they got scared and turned around and came back. And I really get that. Kipper, RV Lady, will you meet me in Pismo? I'll buy patches. $5,500, girl. Really serious. Pismo Beach? Anyway, just write it. I'll see if I can get it. You are in California. I am in California. And the reason I'm staying put is because I have that Craigslist ad, and I want to be able to be in one place so I can say, well, I'm in, and people can come and find the RV. But I keep telling people, and then they keep, you know, not coming. No, No, but shit, I can be. Okay, I don't understand that. No. Okay, Kipper, I don't understand that. No, but shit, I can be to buy patches. Laugh out loud. Oh yeah, I'm laughing out loud. um. But basically, I'm just staying put so people can find me, so that they can look at her and determine whether or not it's something that would fit in their lives. So, but Monica, if you're interested to going to Mexico, I'm going kind of like the end of, or like the second or third week of January. And then I'm going to go down and stay until hurricane season, which is usually, August-ish. Yeah, that's really when it really kicks in for that area. And then I am going to head back north. But if I really like it, I'm going to stay. And if I really, really like it, I'm going to buy property down there so that I can park an RV and, have a place to park in, the Yucatan is where I'm going, is the Yucatan. Now, interestingly enough about the Yucatan is, if you can get there safely, I suppose, they don't really have any crime. They don't have a situation where you have to be in fear for your life all the time. That's basically mainland Mexico. Let's see, RV Lady, when NF Eric, okay, sold his chili, he did add that said he'd be one place on one day, and that was it. Had 2 or 3 folks lined up. I believe that, there might be, he was in, I think, a more metropolitan area than I am. I'm basically, for all intents and purposes, in the country. And everything, the people who are interested in patches are like 100 miles away. So they have to drive 100 miles and then drive 100 miles back. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to possibly head south in order to see if I can sell her any quicker, getting into a more metropolitan, and it's not even metropolitan, area. And yeah, I know Mexico's dangerous, but so is the United States. When was the last time you walked out your front door, left it unlocked, walked down to the street, went to the grocery store, and not one moment thought, oh my God, somebody's going to probably kill me or rob me or whatever? And unless you live in a very rural community, and they have their crime there too, every place that you go these days is dangerous. Every place that you visit worldwide, someone is capable of taking something from you. I'm just hoping if I drive down there and they want the RV, I'm like, here are the keys. Take it. Just don't kill me. And let me live another day so I can go buy another RV. I'm not interested. What?
Let me tell you a funny story, RV Lady. When we crossed the border from the United States into Canada, they asked us, do you have knives? Well, yeah, I got knives. I mean, I got my food, but do I have any hunting knives? No. Do you have mace? No. Do you have pepper spray? No. Do you have a gun? No. The guy looked at us and he said, what are you going to do if a bear attacks you? And I said, I'm going to pray.
I don't know that that'll do you a lot of good.
No, but and I felt like telling him, I'm going to take a picture of that damn bear, so hopefully you can find him after he's eaten me.
Yeah. and that's kind of what I'm saying. No matter where you go on the planet anymore, you are um, subject to personal violence or theft or and I've just kind of gotten used to that. I mean, I've been out here doing this since April full time, and plus I can't even tell you how many years of tent camping. That talk about being vulnerable. You're absolutely vulnerable when you're in a tent, um, for the two-legged creatures and the four-legged creatures. But I've never had anything. Never say never. I've never had any kind of incident that caused me to say, "Gee, I'm not going to do that again," or that made me nervous, or I've just never had it. Down in Mexico, um, I may run into situations that I'm not fully understanding, and that's probably because I don't fully understand the language. If somebody's screaming at me in English, I understand what they're upset about. If somebody's screaming at me in Spanish, I'm clueless. The most I can do is just like look at them and smile, and I don't know, open my wallet and hand them money. I can't think of anything
Well,
else.
the only scary thing about Mexico is they don't have the rules like we do. In other words, you're not innocent until you are proven guilty. Down there, you're
Right.
guilty until you
Yeah.
prove yourself innocent. That's kind
Well,
of
and
spooky.
that's around the world. That's what it is. You're guilty until you're proven innocent. And the United States and some other countries are. It's rare that you're supposed to be innocent. I mean, I don't even know that that pertains to the United States anymore. I think that the assumption of guilt is there, and depending on who you are, the amount of celebrity or news coverage that you get associated with whatever crime you've committed, pollutes any kind of jury pool that you would have, in order for you to have a fair trial. Um, and the fact that people don't show up for jury duty, um, you know, who are your peers? Is it the guy who, you're supposed to be found guilty by a whatever that called, whatever that is of your peers, and you got to figure who's on a jury that is my peer, and but violent crime, no matter where you go, it's there, and you just have to be aware. You just have to be cognizant of the things that are going around you. I remember when my daughter was, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old. We were in a Hallmark store. If you're not familiar with it, they're basically cards and notions and things like that. And she had her little girl purse with her, and it had, I don't know, money in it. And she was walking around, and every once in a while she'd open her purse and make sure her money was there, and some guy started following her, and I know his intention was to either steal my child or steal her purse. And basically I glared at him as I was going to stand next to my daughter and say, bring it on, buddy, because I'm pretty old and I've got some pent up frustration that I'd like to release on you. And that's kind of how I feel now. I wouldn't go down without a fight, that's for sure. And you can tell by people's faces, I think, those people who are truly there to aid you in whatever it is. And then there are the people that, their intent is written in their eyes. And it's just a matter of you paying attention to what's going on around you. So, no, I'm not really afraid.
Well, one of the things is that's why I have an ice pick. He didn't. He didn't ask about an ice pick.
A good one.
And
Well,
the
I
other
have all
thing,
kinds.
when you
Yeah,
were
I have
going
all
across
kinds of.
the
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
when you're going across the border, only answer the questions they ask you. Do not volunteer information.
Yeah,
Real important.
that is. You don't volunteer information. You don't talk. And, I don't have a problem with that. And I'm seeing people talking about the cartels in Mexico. I mean, seriously, do you really think the cartels are interested in somebody who's driving an RV and, some white lady who's driving an RV down to Mexico? I don't think the cartels would look at me and think anything other than stupid American. And I don't think they're going to give me any trouble. I think probably the only difficulty that I truly anticipate is anything having to do with law enforcement. And I have heard a variety of things about the police and the corruption of the police. And, they have ultimate authority. And of course, they're going to be speaking in a different language. And yeah, just gonna go with the flow. I don't do anything, I don't think, that causes anybody to pull me over for any reason. But again, driving in a foreign country, you got to consider blah, blah, blah. Yes, there are others. Hello, Bonnie Robertson. Hell yes. What is that? Bonnie Robertson. RV lady. Hello. Hell yes. Okay, how's that? Was that like more like what you were saying? I don't know. Oh, it says on here you can take guns into Canada, but there are rules. Now, you cannot take guns into Mexico because there are rules that say you cannot do that. And would I feel better if I had I don't know, sawed-off shotgun, maybe, 20 gauge sitting in my RV someplace that I could pull down and the spread would take up 15 or 16 people? You betcha. That'd be awesome. But, I've got the bear spray. I've got the wasp spray. I have the ability to, I don't know, convey that I'm not a threat in any way. But if somebody wants to do you harm, they're just going to. So I'm not going to worry about that because then I would never go anywhere ever. So I'm not concerned with that. I'm not gonna deal with that. And what's nice about hairspray, Janice, is that if you have a little lighter with you and you light that hairspray, it's a blowtorch.
That's what I just put.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's an excellent weapon, actually. And but traveling alone, it puts me at a disadvantage because there's no one that I can say, okay, when I say snagglepuss, that means step on the gas and let's get the hell out of here. And when I work that into the conversation, it would be nice to be able to have somebody. Okay, RV lady, I'm going to pay it. Okay, I'm finished with that story. It says, Bonnie Robertson, RV lady, wish I could get your attention. You have my attention, Bonnie. Go. Seriously, I'm going to wait until Bonnie tells me whatever it is. Let's see. Monica, I'm reading yours. We'll chat more about Mexico RV. Yeah, anybody who wants to talk about RVing down to Mexico, let me know. I'm all about, okay, RV lady, have time to grab hairspray when they be jerking your britches down. Well, okay, that would be the most action that I've seen in years and years. But yeah, do I want to be raped? No. Do I see that happening? No. I would, Bonnie, I'm looking at you again, RV lady. You are a sitting duck for the bad guys. I don't think I'm a sitting duck as much as I am. I don't suffer from the anxiety that others have. Obviously you have some anxiety about travel and the insecurity. It doesn't matter if you're traveling with a suitcase on an airplane or if you're in an RV or if you're in a car. When you travel, you're vulnerable. and you just have to take whatever precautions are necessary. Am I going to check with the American consulate? You betcha. Am I going to find out where the trouble is? You betcha. Am I going to ask those people that deal with Mexico on a professional basis all the time, um, you know, what could possibly happen to me back there? Yeah, you betcha. I'm not uh, dangling myself out. I mean, I'm not going to Iraq. So I think anything less than that's okay. Opinion on Mexico's part. I think that it is, your own fear and anxiety keeps you from exploring what you want. And I mean, there are snakes down there that I don't even know are venomous. There's all kinds of stuff that can kill me besides people. So I think that also, if you like flying to Cancun, and that's where I'm going. I'm not going to Cancun, but Cozumel, Cancun, the Caribbean. It's very touristy. The Yucatan is very touristy, and it's just the getting down there part, and that's just the vulnerability of travel. The only reason I would ever stop would to be to go into an RV park. I'm not going to drive at night. I don't drive at night up here. And the reason I don't drive at night is because I don't trust my vision at night. And let's see. Okay, Bonnie, you got my attention. RV lady, I'm not trying to be hard on you. You're not. I'm just being sincere. That's good. I'm not afraid of trees, but if I climb up in one and jump out, I'm going down.
I'm afraid of trees. I'd be my luck. There'd be a wind come up and that tree
Oh,
come down right on top of me.
oh no, I never think about that. Well, I thought about it one time. I was driving through one of these forests, and there was a redwood that had fallen, and then like you drove under it with your car. Um, and I took a moment to think, like, okay, do I really want to drive under this big, 100-ton tree? Yeah. So, I just stepped on the gas a little when I got there. But I think that, let's see, let me go. State Department travel warnings are what to look for. Exactly. I want to go to Cuba too. That's blue-eyed. Okay, you're almost gone. Um, I want to go to Cuba really bad. I can't wait until they open it up for just regular Americans to go. And
Bruce is allowed to go to Cuba,
that's
but
because he's Canadian. It's because
yeah,
he's
but I'm
Canadian.
not allowed to go.
I know. And as soon as they open that up, I'm going. I think that it would be really fun. Daydrifter RE. Oh, I don't know who RE is. I'm still reading about the whole Mexican thing. Watch some of.
R.E. Reed.
Yeah, I'm an alien. She went down there. She had a wonderful time. I don't think she ran into any difficulty. Um, I don't know how far she went into Mexico, and that's really a difference. Now, I wouldn't go to Mexico City, and I wouldn't go to Guadalajara, and I wouldn't go to Acapulco. There are places where it would just, I mean, it's, you're on the verge of insanity to go to these places. And okay, I'm reading you again, Bonnie. RV Lady, I've had experience with bears in Mexico and just want you to take them both seriously. I I take everything pretty seriously. I know that I appear glib about some things, but it's only because I'm one of those people that thinks of every possible scenario, and so I'm prepared for everything. RV Lady, I hiked into the back country of, okay, in Wyoming, and was a week in the back country with grizzlies, but I didn't go without a big gun unless pressure, and neither would I. If I was going to be on foot in grizzly country, yeah, I'd take a couple of guns. And, I would take a scatter gun, and I would also take a hard bullet gun. and they'd be loaded all the time. I've hunted, so I'm pretty familiar with hunting. I don't hunt anymore, but I can use a gun. I know how to use them, and I have no problem at pointing a gun at a human being and pulling the trigger if they are a threat to me. I would have just no problem with that. But you can't take a gun into Mexico. Mexico is just dangerous. I know. Everything's dangerous. Going to the grocery store is dangerous. Living in LA is dangerous. Living in San Diego, less dangerous than living in LA. But if a bear is serving margaritas, though, I would probably give it. If a bear was serving margaritas, yeah, that would be like my best friend. And I really like margaritas, even though I can only have like half of one before I throw up. I do not speak Spanish, but I am learning Spanish when I drive the Suzuki. I can't do it when I'm driving the RV because I really need to concentrate when I'm driving the RV. And but when I'm driving the Suzuki, the CDs are in all the time, and I'm listening to them and learning the language, learning the grammar, because I want to both be able to read Spanish and I want to be able to speak Spanish, or at least
All you need to do is ask for cervezas, and you've got it made in the shade.
cervezas. Um,
Yeah.
there's actually a lot of words that I know um, in English that I mean in Spanish that I wouldn't have a problem with. I mean conversational stuff that I wouldn't have a problem with, but again, I'm not afraid. I just don't have that kind of anxiety. And I think if it's all that karma stuff or whatever that's called. If you're looking for it, it'll come to you. If you put it out there and you say, I'm afraid of Mexican banditos, then I think they will find you. I'm not afraid of them, so I don't think they're just human beings, and they're going to be intimidating. I already know that, but I have found the Mexican people far and away to be nice, uh, respectful, and helpful. I have never gone to Mexico and had any kind of difficulty. And I've been in Tijuana. I've been in Tijuana on foot. Now, of course, I haven't been there for 20 years, but and it says, I'm looking money. Okay, RV lady, I was on my honeymoon, and let's just say we didn't consummate close enough the marriage. Laugh out loud. Okay, but what's that have to do with traveling in Mexico? Okay, I must have missed something. That is pretty funny, and thanks for sharing. I I don't suffer from the fear anxiety that a lot of people do, and it's because I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, I've been a lot of places, and um, must surface is 444. Okay, and yes, where's the bathroom? Yeah, you got those things. It's like tequila, they know what that is, and cerveza, everybody knows that word. So, yeah, if you want to go down and drink and then ask for the bathroom, your RV is your guy. Um, but I think that I don't have to run faster than there. I have to run faster than you. That is so true, Daydrifter. That's funny. Bonnie, RV lady, wrong. Listen to Spanish music and sing along. I know that's what I'm also going to do, Kelly. And I've tried to do that, but I'm trying to find a commercial free Mexican channel. But I think I just have to go buy CDs that are in Spanish. The comment was about bear country. Okay. Oh, you went on your honeymoon into bear country with guns. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, that would be definitely not a way to have comfortable initial sex. Yeah, that would be really bad. Um, let's see. Doesn't cloud your common sense? I have so much common sense. I've got a lot to spare if anybody needs any. I know that sometimes I can come off as kind of ditzy and whatever, but um, I've made my life out of not necessarily um, going on the path everybody else goes on. So the let's see, I'm looking RV later as long as it doesn't cause your common sense. Yeah, I got common sense. Okay, my least favorite movie is Mario. Ditto. Um, I'm not going to limit myself because I'm afraid that there are bad people out there that may or may not hurt me. RV lady in bear country, you're a meal for a hungry bear. Yeah, in Mexico, I think a woman is just a target. What I find really interesting about Mexican men, since we're going to be on this subject, is that the comment that they make most about American women is that we wear baggy clothes. And they don't understand why we don't wear the tight clothes that the Mexican women wear. And if you live in a place where there is a community of I didn't see it. Oh, Rama. I have no idea. But I think the men do have their opinion on stuff. When I was 30 years ago or whatever, when I first went to Mexico, to Tijuana, the American consulate or the warnings were from the embassy was young women with blonde hair don't go to Tijuana. Well, I went anyway and didn't have any problem. And what I didn't understand and what somebody explained to me later was that that's when they were kidnapping white women, blonde haired, in Mexico and putting them into the white slave mumbo jumbo. And I know that all exists, and I know that. Okay, funny, Rudy. Yeah, did see me? No. I know that that's a real thing, and that's of real concern. I never went down there by myself, even though I'm going to go down there by myself now. But I'm almost a 60-year-old woman. I think they can find something better to do. I'm just guessing, but I think
can't run real fast, RV lady.
No, I wouldn't run, especially with a broken foot. I don't think I would run, quite honestly. I'd stand my ground, and if I could get into the RV, I'd stay in the RV and let them break all the windows. But at least I'd have the keys in my hand and a big engine behind me. And it's, again, I have considered every conceivable scenario that there is. And I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm not going to let it crush what is on my bucket list. Okay, stop it, Yarvi. I don't know what that is. I haven't learned how to read it yet. I'm just learning how to speak it. And one of the problems that I have about speaking Spanish is that I'm seeing it in English in my head. I have to translate it, and then it comes out of my mouth like some horrible thing. I don't really want to insult people by destroying their language, no matter what their language is. She is single and white. Okay, I'm assuming you're talking about me.
That's a translation for you.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know Spanish either, but I do know Latin, and I do know some of those words.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is. It's like, I understand French. I can read French. I don't speak French, but I can read it, and I can see the similarities in the languages. But I must be an Aquarius. I can kick ass too. You are either a victim or a victor. I agree with that. And I'm not a victim. I don't exude that in any way that I know of. To be a victim, you have to let yourself do that. And I'm not a victim. I would not be intimidated. If somebody came up and said, we have guns and we want whatever, First I would say, no Spanish. And then I would go into the what? What? I don't understand what you're saying. Blah, blah, blah. I just take a pill. Oh, I'm having a heart attack. There are just a bazillion things that you can do that just make something unattractive for someone. So, oh, it's good that you don't recognize that Spanish because it's French. Where was French? I didn't see that. But no, I'm just not one of those people that's going to have that kind of anxiety about it. Listening to your intuition. If someone seems wrong, don't hang around. Leave maybe 2 hours. I think there is intuition that, and there's common sense that you have to go with. And I think that your intuition is going to save you more than anything. And I know that those of you out there that have ever had your intuition trying to tell you something and then you ignored it and then later you said, gee, why didn't I do what I thought of first? I have had that experience more times than I wish to admit. And yeah, and I agree with that. A friend of mine was kidnapped. Yeah, I think that such a high attractive position that some Americans stepped in, and this was in Mazatlan. In oh God, what's it called? I had it. Tip of Baja. Everybody goes there. Anyway, they have a lot of kidnapping of Americans going on there, or they did, 2 years ago or something. But you have to always be aware that something's, going on. And I'm going to be walking around with a, dog most of the time. And if somebody wants to see if they can take me and the dog on, well, good luck. I don't think it's going to work out very well for them. But have you ever heard about bitchy resting face? Bitchy resting face? No, I don't know what that is. Anything on my fear? Yeah, I just am not afraid, and a lot of it has to do with the things that I do every day, so that I don't fall into that high anxiety that some people suffer from, and that's the Superman stance. And it's also be brave. It's something that when I say be brave, I am truly calling attention for both myself and hopefully the reader that it takes actual frontal lobe thought to be brave. And, we can all run and hide under the covers, but what fun is that? And
one thing is if the hair on the back of your neck rises up, get the heck out of there. There's something going on. Don't stick around to find out what it is. Just get.
Right. I completely agree with that. And it was like I made, I think, a video where I was talking about the siren that was going off. Maybe I was talking to somebody, writing to somebody. But when I pulled into this, I know my abilities to travel ahead for others. I have too, and I can tell if you're like really sick. This is to Bonnie Robinson. It says, RV Lady, I am known for my ability to see trouble ahead for others. All I'm saying is please be careful. I will absolutely be careful. And you can ask Yarvi. I mean, honestly, Yarvi, would anybody mess with me? Do you really think that people would mess with me? I don't think they would. So, but I was saying, when I pulled into this RV campsite, whatever, I will look up bitchy resting face later. But I no more than got out of the RV and a really loud siren went off. Okay, now, nobody was coming out of their RVs. I looked around. I spent most of the time looking around to see what reaction the siren was having on anybody else besides myself. And I found that nobody was doing anything. Well, I had pulled in forward, which meant I needed to back patches out in order to get the hell out of here. And so I was unhooking the Suzuki so that I could back the RV out so that I could then hook up the Suzuki so that we could go. And nobody was coming out of their RVs, nothing. Traffic seemed the same. I didn't see this amount of panic that I was experiencing. But was I ready to take action and get out of there? You betcha. Um,
Was that a
did I
tsunami warning?
go knock?
Was that a
Yeah.
tsunami warning?
And
Okay.
the, it was a tsunami warning. It was, I want to say, 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. And I'm used to hearing sirens because the siren at the San Onofre nuclear power plant, um, does its monthly, well, did, now it's offline, but did its monthly sirens. And if you could hear the siren, and it wasn't a test, it was get in your car and drive. It wasn't pack first. It was get in your car and drive either, interestingly enough, either north or south, because the wind blows blows east. And so you don't want to go east, you want to go south. And that was always my plan, was to go south. But, basically, it scared the bejesus out of me. And I ended up, once I unhooked the Suzuki, I jumped into and drove down to the manager's place where the siren's still going off. And I said, "What does that siren mean?" And he says, "Oh, it's every first Tuesday of the month they blare the siren so that, it's a test, everybody knows that." I said, "Well, there's a big sign you might want to put up around the, RV park." Um, that was actually, quite scary because I am in an area where, if there was an earthquake out at sea or whatever, and there was a tsunami coming, I would not have an opportunity to know it was coming. I would have to rely on some kind of siren like that, or somebody saying you can't go down that road because it's going to have a tsunami or something. Um, but basically, you have to watch out for yourself. You have to consider, what's going on around you all the time in order to make decisions that are going to, sometimes save your life. And I believe on the hair on the back of the neck, and that you get an intuitive feeling that you need to walk faster, or you need to break into a run, or. And it's, I think that there is some kind of psychic mumbo jumbo about human beings, and it's your choice to listen or not. So, hello from Australia. Karma will get you. It's so true. Karma will get you. And I think the other thing that gets you is if you think it hard enough, yeah, you'll get that. Except winning a lottery, you won't get that. But
We had when we were out in California this year, we had a tsunami warning thing
a
go
real one.
off. Well, no, it just went off. And I looked around and I said, well, I don't think you guys get tornadoes.
No.
So is that tsunami? Oh, yeah, but they didn't do it twice. So that meant it's okay. I said,
Oh,
okay, all right. I never heard of that. But it was
yeah.
very weird because we were doing the coastal highway and you would be up high and it would say leaving tsunami
Tsunami safe zone.
safe zone, and then
Safe
you'd go
zone.
down and they would put every campground down in the bottom of the tsunami zone, and then you go up
Yeah.
the other side and you were in the safe zone again. It was
Yeah,
just weird.
exactly. They're everywhere, and I'm right now sitting in a unsafe um, zone. And so, yeah, am I paying attention to that? You betcha. And the other thing that was really driving me crazy was, here's the siren going off. There is no water for, I don't know, 800 yards out there. And I'm thinking, oh, the wave must be, I didn't know that this was the first, second, or 15th time they'd let the siren off. And so, and then the water's all gone, and that's key to a tsunami. Yeah, it was like a freak out moment for me. Share your juicer again, please. RV lady, share your juicer again, please. Okay, for those of you who didn't hear me earlier, speaking of juicer, since I got the dog, um, uh, I, have those potty bags that you buy for your dog. So, what those are for. But those potty bags fit perfectly in the juicer um, area that collects the scraps from your juicer. It fits in there perfectly. It's fabulous. It's better than the bags the bags at the grocery store are free, but you have to remember to get the bags. And yeah, these pooper bags work. So I just thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, we've been doing this for 2 hours, or at least I have. So I think it is time to say fond farewell to this hangout for this week, and basically. I don't know about next Sunday. If anybody wants to host, I would appreciate it if you would contact me, because I'm probably going to let somebody else host next week, or have somebody else host. I don't let people host. This is our channel. This isn't just my channel. This is our channel. So, if somebody wants to host for next week, let me know. And yeah. And basically, I guess that's it, except be brave. And bye.
Thanks, RV lady.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, Janice. It was a pleasure. And thanks everybody else for coming. And I think this was a fun chat, even though I didn't shut up for 2 hours. But maybe we can get more people on the panel next week. Doesn't matter.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you later.
Okay, over and out. Be brave.